Okay, one more time. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, so the sound is working. Okay, that is that. Great. Let's get some slides up then. Okay, there we go. All right, slides are coming up. My goodness, today is already the 27th. That is unbelievable. This month is just sailing by. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. Okay. And let me see who was here first. Just out of curiosity. Oh, by the way, someone sent me a Cash App. SE. Oh, okay. I don't want to say your name, but yeah, SE. Thank you very much for the Cash App. And thank you so much for supporting Royal Sussex. And happy Saturday night or Sunday morning to you. All right. Okay. So, Prince Harry's medals. Why the British media making a big mistake is making a big mistake. Okay, the grammar is really bad there. Okay, but that's never stopped me before, has it? As a matter of fact, if the uh, if the grammar was perfect, that might be confusing. So I don't want you to think you're on the wrong channel. Okay, so let's continue. Prince Harry faces backlash for embarrassing and ridiculous decision to wear UK participation medals to present U.S. Army award. Is it a mistake? As I pointed out, it's not the first time that he's worn his medals. For some reason, they want to pretend as though something is different about this last presentation or this last, I guess, Zoom or whatever means they use. But he's done presentations before or speeches where he's recorded them from his stately, palatial, opulent, picturesque um, Montecito home. And of course, in Montecito, we know that there are no leaks. So, what is different? What is the fuss about? Why are they making such a big deal out of nothing? I couldn't tell you. It's obviously a distraction. And this is what a lot of people don't seem to get. It is in the US, there's an old saying when one member of the family serves in the military, everybody in the family is in the military. I mean, you accept a family as a whole and complete unit, right? And even though they like to paint Megan with this brush of being this very passive individual who, um, let's see, they thought she was a vegan at one time, even though she said that the proposal came over a roasted chicken. Um, and everybody knows what a big foodie she is. She loves cooking, she loves food. She has been pretty much living the lifestyle brand long before the idea of American Riviera Orchard came up. So she's always been that person. She's always lived in that environment, right? And so all of these assumptions, like Megan is against the private jets, or Megan is always preaching, they lumped them together. The thing is, we've never heard how Megan felt about environmental things one way or the other. But we do know she loves sustainable fashion, if that's any indication. So, when it comes to Harry being a soldier, um, we already know Megan has. Uh, she was a volunteer for the USO, so she's not this person that they try to paint her to be. Like all she does is cry about what's wrong with the world and what great injustice. No, she's living her life. She's living her best life. And there are many facets to that brilliant gem that we call the Duchess of Sussex. So she definitely supports the military, uh, veterans. She supports the military. You have to disassociate the politics from the actual service people, the people who are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice to keep us all safe. No different than a police officer, no different than, as I always say, the medical professionals. Sometimes they go in spaces that a lot of people run away from. But during the pandemic, we've seen tens of thousands of medical professionals run to the fight. So there's a lot of people that do things that some of us never have and never will. And Megan supports her husband. She's been supportive of the military. And where that's concerned, the point that I'm trying to make is they try to say, oh, Megan's overshadowing Harry. He's the one that started Invictus. Why is she the one that's there? What is she doing there? Because she is supporting her husband, a veteran. Americans get that. They get that. And one thing that we learned after Vietnam is that you don't come for the soldier. If you feel a certain way about the politics, fine, but you leave the soldiers out of it. You don't play fast and loose with their feelings. You support them, and that's what she's doing. That is what Harry's doing. Harry is still supporting the military, even though he's not in the UK where he served. He's not actively in the military, obviously. He's had his titles taken away from him, his military titles, and yet he continues to serve. The uniform is just one part of being a soldier. But once you're a soldier, always a soldier, right? And if you're in a military family, then you're always going to think supporting the military. So, with all of that being said, why in the world do they think that this is a winning proposition to try to humiliate Harry over some medals? Over some medals. Three of those are from Jubilees. One medal is from Afghanistan. Okay? Everybody understands Afghanistan. Harry has been very supportive to the expats from Afghanistan, the Afghan expats. He has been very supportive to them. And through Archwell, both Meghan and Harry have been supportive to people who were not in the military, that they and their families have come to the West looking for opportunity, looking for a new life, looking to escape the hardships that were created because of war. And these are the things that people do here in the US. There's no disassociation, at least not on a massive scale. Most people do not shy away from supporting the military. This is a fool's errand. They are trying to strike out against Harry using using medals, one of which is from his service in Afghanistan. That is not going to fly. It just doesn't work because people see it for what it is. And they are still trying to drag him, still trying to turn the military against him. I don't understand how they think that this is going to do something, how this is supposed to work. I don't get how this is going to hurt him more than embarrass Britain. The face of the United Kingdom is the tabloid media, not even the royal family, it's the tabloid media. You don't have enough of them to have a face these days. People have already counted Charles out because they assume he's not going to be here for long. People don't give a flip about William, and they keep trying to make William popular. When he came to New York, he was supposed to be this sexy, bald, um, um, I guess, Viking hero or something. Really? He's Thor? I thought Thor had more hair than that. I don't know what they thought. I don't know what they thought. The sexiest bald man alive. People did nothing but laugh. He doesn't have enough swag to carry that. He doesn't have enough. He's not butch enough. He's not macho enough to be sexy and bald at the same time. He looks insecure and, dare I say, somewhat effeminate in his little blinky action stuff that he does. He carries himself like a punk. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. He looks like a big punk. A punk! He looks like a big punk. He looks like a station wagon full of nuns could abduct him. And he would put up no resistance. I don't see him as a man's man. Harry, that is the quote unquote man's man, not William. And if they're doing all of this because they think that he's going to that this is going to elevate William while they're trying to walk all over Harry, I promise you this is a waste of time. They're wasting everybody's time. And at the same time as they're trying to walk all over Harry, you're putting this beautiful woman's face, a hero, you're putting her face next to his and trying to destroy his character. When you look at both of them, all you see is hero. Everybody knows about Prince Harry's war record. Everybody knows about it. There's no disputing that. Harry has been popular amongst the American military community for a long time. A long time. Over a decade. Afghan Campaign Medal, Golden Jubilee, Diamond Jubilee Medal, and of course, the Platinum Jubilee Medal. So 3 of those medals means that he was in service of his country under the Queen, working as a diplomat, representing the crown, going to places like, what did he go? Tibet, Africa, Jamaica, the United States, Canada. He's been quite a few places, North and South Pole. Or was it only South Pole? My point is, he's been in service of the Queen. And also, he has served the Queen in Afghanistan. He served his country in Afghanistan. The people in the British military don't like this. And the people in the United States military do not like this. And they just keep trying. Now, either they're really stupid or this is a clever distraction for something else. And I don't know how to break it to them, but back on November the 7th, Harry did the same thing. He stood outside of his stately, palatial, opulent, picturesque, 16 bathroomed, um, guest house, tennis court, tea garden, temple house, swimming pool, movie stars mansion in Montecito, where there are no leaks. He stood outside wearing the same flipping medals. And dare I say, I think the same suit. I think he was wearing the same suit. So why didn't they say something then? He lives in a house with swimming pools and movie stars. Y'all come back now here. I mean, he is living the American dream. And as much as they should really be, I think it must bother them because we're not bothered. We're not bothered. Americans don't care about excess. Americans don't care about who's wealthy and who's not, because at any given time, we suspect that we always believe that our kids are going to be president of the United States, and we always believe that we're going to be rich. We don't know how, but it's going to happen. As opposed to the United Kingdom, where you can be rich, but you're definitely never going to be the top of the pyramid, because that person is born into that position, namely the monarch. So your kids might get some job or get a position in the government. Your child may be the next Simon Case, or your child may be the next Rishi Sunak, but they certainly ain't going to be king. The best you could hope for is that your spawn will somehow merge into that institution, and you will go down in history as being related to the commoner that married into that institution, that was walked all over and treated like some type of half-wit or something like that. That's about the best you could hope for. But they'll never be the top. That position is already taken for the next 100 years. Harry walked away from that system. Ever since he was a teenager, he said, I don't want it. They could have it. I feel better here in Afghanistan. I haven't taken a bath in a week. I piss in a can. I'm eating ready-eat meals, right? There's people out there that would love to know that I'm here because I'm a prince of the realm. They'd come after me if they knew I was here, which eventually happened. But he could not have been happier. If you're more happy in a field of battle than you are in a what's supposed to be a very plush, cushy lifestyle back in London, which we all know that he never really saw that part of it. This is the best he's ever lived as an adult. This is the best he's ever lived. Nobody gave him a mansion. He bought one. Nobody taught him how to dress. Not least until he got married. And now he wears more Dior than his wife. I just don't get how this is supposed to work. It's such a waste of time. I would be more bothered by it if I thought it actually worked. But it doesn't. It's just a waste of time. I'm just insulted. I'm insulted that they think that they're going to achieve something. This really triggered them right here. Oh, the comments. Oh, the comments. Couldn't they get somebody else to do that? Why is he there? Why is she there? Why are they there? He's not even in the military anymore. They're not royals anymore. They were stripped of their titles. All of the pomp and circumstance is back over in the UK. Harry said, "Okay, fine. We will leave and you all could have the front page every day. We'll just go and try to make it the best way we can." That's what he said. You can have these titles. They didn't want the titles. They said, "Oh no, we'll give you a year, and if thing doesn't work out for you in a year, then you can come back and we'll really mistreat you, okay?" And so things worked out. So for 1 year, Harry and Meghan said absolutely nothing. And in that year's time, I think I saw more of I've seen more unicorns and dragons than I've seen Meghan in that first year since they left. Right? And still there was something to say about Meghan every day, several times a day. Something to say about Harry every day, several times a day. They were saying absolutely nothing, going about their business, trying to put their financial and physical lives together, trying to create a home, trying to start, or should I say, nurture and cultivate their family position, all of that stuff. And then, of course, they wouldn't stop leaking, they wouldn't stop briefing. So Harry and Meghan did the Oprah interview. And that was supposed to be an end of it. But still, instead of leaving them alone, they come after him even further. So enters the book, enters the docuseries. Now will you leave us alone? I'll tell you what, it definitely took some of the heat off of them where that was concerned because it was a one-way thing for quite some time. But once the Sussexes spoke out and told their side of the story, and not even the whole story, just part of it, looks like they're pretty much covered in mud themselves now. Kensington Palace, Camilla the Queen Consort. They didn't want to have to do it, but they were forced to do it. And now they once again they're still trying to come after Harry's military position. He's not a soldier anymore, but he is a respected veteran of war. He wore his medals when they went to the Intrepid. When they went to the Intrepid, he wore his medals. They didn't say anything. So what's different now? What difference does it make if he wore his medals? When there is an occasion that has a military component, he wears his medals. If you're going to go on the stage and do a presentation for something to do with the military, you're going to wear your medals. If he's going to do it over a Zoom, he's going to wear his medals or pre-record it, whatever the case may be. He's going to wear his medals. Just get used to it. At least he deserves to wear it. Guess who the veteran? Guess who's the veteran? And guess who gets to wear a uniform at the funeral? It's unbelievable just how out of touch and petty these folks are. Out of touch and petty. It's breathtaking. I'm like, do they hear themselves? And in spite of everything that they tried, look at Harry. Harry goes to Hawaii. Once again, he left Montecito, where there are no leaks. He goes to Hawaii. We didn't know why he was in Hawaii. And don't you think that they didn't try to figure it out? Oh, don't think they didn't try to figure it out. What was Harry doing in Hawaii? Uh, You don't know? I don't know. Well, we got to get somebody over there. Somebody knows. Okay, straight away. And still, there was nothing. Trust and believe. The same way that guy was saying that they heard these rumors about the Sussex's marriage, and he admitted that they sent people to LA and they couldn't find anything that was wrong. Trust and believe. Harry showing up in Hawaii, they used a lot of resources to send people over to Hawaii and investigate why was Prince Harry in Hawaii. And we didn't find out until the heart of Invictus. And we only know that he went uh, deep sea diving. There may have been other things that happened. Nobody knows how long they were there. They don't know everybody that he met with. As a matter of fact, didn't I just share the image of a veteran that Harry met in Hawaii? And that veteran who was what, 102 years old or whatever, he just died. Nobody knew Harry met with him. We didn't know until we saw it on social media. So they're not as clever as they think they are. Their resources are not as solid as they pretend they are. There's so much that get by them because they haven't gotten Americans to turn on him. And it is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. He's home. This is his home. It is not going to happen. This is Harry's home now. He is protected from that institution and from the tabloid media. Because when push comes to shove, he is still a veteran. Once a veteran, once a soldier, always a soldier. And anybody who does not pick up what I'm putting down, you're wasting your time. This is so stupid. It'd be different if there was a snowball's chance that it was going to change people's opinion. Oh, Harry looks ridiculous wearing those medals, doing a military presentation. Why is he wearing his medals? He's a soldier. I just don't. I just can't. I just can't. I just can't with these people. They're so stupid. I mean, just stupid. I have never seen such stupidity. And it's not just the Daily Fail. The New York Post. The New York Post has a picture of Harry and a picture of what I think is a very attractive young lady. And I don't know if they realize this, but yes, this is the United States. But one thing that we have in common with most Western industrialized nations is that it's not really cool picking on a woman, let alone someone who's a veteran of war. That's not cool. And they for their own sake, I can only advise. I cannot force them to do anything, but before things get too far out of hand, they just need to stop. They really need to stop because they're asking people to pick a side. And in this country, most people, not everybody, but most people come down on the side of the veteran or the soldier. That's what side they come down on. Not a bunch of people that sit around and gossip all day. That is not the winning side. But you wait, I got more. You wait, I got more. There you have it. Big brass. Big brass. That's what you call big brass. They're starting to get that quilt going across their chest. I mean, these are commanders, military commanders, and they were just like little kids excited to meet Prince Harry. What? Prince Harry is here? Give him a VIP tour. That's it and that's all. Look at this. What? That's Prince Harry. Look, 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 look. That's Prince Harry. But notice people are keeping a very respectful distance. There's no difference between him being here now than 5 years ago or 6 years ago. No difference. He is still given a level of respect that not only he deserves, but they're glad to extend to him. Invictus Royal Row. Harry and Meghan's rift with the royal family sparked Invictus Game row. Veterans question if Sussex standoff has cost them more support from royals, but Palace points out it's normal practice to not get involved in each other's projects. It's not each other's projects, it's military veterans. It's not just a project, it's veterans. If you're going to go to the, what is that, the cenotaph, whatever that thing is, if you're going to go and remember people that died in the Great War, if you're going to go down there once a year and whimper and wear black and do that big dramatic ceremony, the one where they didn't want to lay a wreath for Harry, if you're going to go there and pay homage to people that lived 70 years ago, that died 70 years ago, then you better pay respect to the people that are walking around injured today, injured in the service of their country. They're entitled to that respect. But because of the so-called rift, the royal family chose not to show up. The commander in chief, the sovereign, decides not to show up. And yet, there's Harry and Meghan being applauded, being celebrated in Dusseldorf. Everybody in town was cheering and celebrating the Invictus Games. Harry changed the policy of the German military toward veterans. Whereas before there wasn't much public support for veterans, all of a sudden they said, you know what? Invictus is going to be a year round thing here in Germany from now on. They had to admit that they got it wrong because of the stigma of war in Germany. Understandable. There wasn't much public support for the military, even for the wounded, sick, injured soldiers. But because of the Invictus Game, all of that has changed. That is so much more powerful than I could even put into words. Nobody knew that was going to happen. Well, Harry knew. Harry understood from the first time he saw wounded soldiers. He understood that the sports, the competition would bring out the best of everybody, family, soldier, whatever. It would bring out the best of everybody. It will bring people together for not the goal of defeating each other as much as it is a personal best. And still, that very uptight, stuffy family, oh, we don't support other people. No, you just don't support him. You'd rather sit in Balmoral or wherever the heck you were, High Clare, High Grove, William off dipping wherever he was, Kate pretending to find out the 5 questions that took her 10 years to come up with, or the 5 questions that she plagiarized from that little girl on TED Talk, allegedly. Invictus changed the German military's policy about wounded veterans. Whereas there was little or no support, now there is a movement backed by the government. There are things there now that were not there before Invictus came to town. And I don't know if you guys know this, but that nitwit, Angela Levin, it seems to believe that they're going to replace Harry. Wait for it now. Wait for it. With Mike Tyndall. Could you imagine Mike Tyndall? As far as I know, I don't think he's ever served. Could you imagine Mike Tyndall and Zara, the tongue ring Tyndall? Could you imagine them trying to whoop up a crowd into thunderous applause like Harry and Meghan could? Just look at Harry and Meghan right there and imagine Mike Tyndall and Zara the tongue ring Tyndall walking in their footsteps. Imagine that. I am so serious. Angela Levin thinks that they are trying to find a way to push Harry out of the thing that he started and replace him with Mike Tyndall. Mike Tyndall's nose has only just come back around to the front of his face about 2 years ago, right? You think that Mike Tyndall, who likes to go around grabbing people's privates, that Mike Tyndall that will kiss a field mouse, that Mike Tyndall is going to take Harry's place. Uh-huh. I would love to see all of those Nigerian aunties hugging all over Zara. I want to see all of those. Uh-oh. Let me see. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. I want to see all of those what do you call it? All of those Nigerian aunties hugging all over Mike Tyndall and Zara the tongue ring Tyndall. I want to see that. No, no, no. I'm serious. I do want to see that. I want to see how they would make that possible. I want to see them get off of a plane led by a police escort, taken to like the town hall to sign the autograph book. Yep, I want to see that. Big, sweaty, sloppy, nasty looking Mike Tyndall. Big, fat, sloppy, nasty Mike Tyndall walking in Harry's footsteps. I want to see that. I want to see that. Mike, I can barely button this coat. Tyndall trying to lead Invictus, trying to negotiate with Boeing. Yes, I would like to see Mike Tyndall negotiate with Boeing or Land Rover, Range Rover, whatever. I want to see that. I want to see Mike Tyndall posing with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I want to see that too. Yep. And when the American delegations show up and ask, "Where's Harry?" I want to see the look on his face. That's why I said none of this, and I do mean none of it, makes any sense. The idea that you are going to push Harry out of the thing that he started. There is no Invictus without Harry. When Harry is ready to step down, then Harry is ready to step down. But right now, Harry is Invictus. I want to show you guys something. Let me grab this picture. Let me see here. Zara, the tongue ring Tyndall, as if wearing all them too tight outfits that don't fit. Mike Tyndall with his shirt radding up over his stomach. Between his stomach, that Jelly Roll stomach, and Zara's love handle showing, and you know what? Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm getting uh I'm going too far now. Let me see. I'm trying to find this picture. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. We didn't even know this happened. We did not know that this happened. The Greatest Generation Foundation. One of the biggest thrills that this guy had in the latter part of his life was meeting Prince Harry. Look at him smiling. Look at this guy smiling. And the reason why I say we don't know everything that happened in um, Hawaii because Harry is wearing his medals here. So there was some type of ceremony that took place, and we don't even know what it is. If you guys know, put it in the chat. I don't remember seeing anything, but something happened. He met some people, and whatever it was not meant to have been shared amongst the public. It was something because when he did the little tour, when he met with the big brass, he was not wearing his medals, right? But there, he's clearly wearing his medals. I mean, that suit appears as though uh, that he took his medals off, that he took his tie off and got a little more casual. See what I mean? He got a little more casual here. So, whatever function there was, we might see it in the future. We may not. I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? He's wearing the poppy, but he's not wearing the medals right there. The medals come off. April 17th, 2024, forever in our hearts, we learned with sadness that Barney Leone, of an Iwo Jima World War II veteran who enjoyed war and peace stories, had died. And one of the images that they shared in his passing, with his passing, is him and Prince Harry. Not him and Joe Biden, not him and Barack Obama, not any of the other countless people that he's met in his lifetime, but Prince Harry. Lex says the tabloids really understand the British royal family are jealous, narcissistic bullies. The British media know if they investigate a competition, that family will take the bait. Harry and Meghan don't play the game, but Charles and William do. Pathetic. Thank you so much, Legs. Very wise. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for the super chat. Now, Colin Powell. Colin Powell, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and then eventually the Secretary of Defense. Oh, wait, no, Secretary of State. Was he ever Secretary of Defense? I don't think so. Secretary of State. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Secretary of State. He's come a long way. And along the way, he actually became friends with Princess Diana. Along the way, he was able to honor Princess Diana's son because of his work. And I don't even think Invictus was a thing at that time, but because of his work with the military community, there he is. And Harry was like, I don't know if I really deserve this, but thank you. That's not William. That's not Charles. That's Harry. And we all know it'll never be Mike the Tongue Ring Tyndall. I'm sorry. Well, he probably got one too. A tongue ring and a whale tail. Now, you guys, sometimes I just do stuff to be totally, totally petty. Like, for instance, this. I just want you all to know that being a princess of the realm is not an easy job. You have to manage a house, actually 4 homes, 62 servants, 5 assistants, and what? Uh, how many assistants was it? 5 assistants in 2 years. You got to run them away. Um, you have to go and pick out coat dresses. Um, what else you got to do? Oh, you have to plot and scheme against your sister-in-law and your brother-in-law. All of that stuff you have to do. And then enters Meghan, who exposed exactly how easy it is to do that work. I mean, it's so easy. And that's what bothered Harry. Harry said, you know, I was I'm very proud of her, but I'm also very worried because she made it look too easy. That's because it is easy. Easy for her. Easy for her. I mean, what does it take to be a duchess? Meghan aced every bit of that job, every bit of it. As a matter of fact, she exceeded expectations. Able to give a speech without cue cards. And every member of that family that went to the hub kitchen, all of them shook their heads and heard these stories of woe. But only one member of the royal family, the one who just got there, right? The one who just got there, she goes to the hub kitchen and she hears the same thing that the Queen heard, the same thing that Charles heard, the same thing that I think Philip heard, and of course, the same thing that Will and Kate heard. Oh, well, we're not able to stay open more than just a couple days a week because we don't have enough funding. What? We don't have enough funding. That's it. Yeah, we don't have enough funding. So Meghan said, well, let's write a cookbook. Yeah, I'll write the forward and you all just come up with the recipes and we'll call it Together. Right? And next thing you know, It is like a New York Times bestseller. Thank you, Amber Rowan. She understood the assignment. But no, Kate Middleton, who is a freelance, what do you call it? Um, Peabody Award winning, Nobel Peace Prize winning photographer. She went there, couldn't think of anything, especially with her vanity art history degree. And William, of course, who took geography but don't know anything about the world, he went there and couldn't think of anything. But Megan goes there under their nose, under their nose, in spite of all the leaking and briefing. She went there under their nose and started a cookbook and created funding that sustained them for quite some time. I probably still does. Huh. Wow, being this Duchess thing isn't so tough after all, is it, Harry? Well, try not to make it look too easy, love. Well, I mean, it's not that hard. You just, you know, you stay in contact. You call, make a few phone calls, and next thing you know, there's a cookbook. Be fair, Baron. Will knows where Poland is. Oh, you know, he could sniff out a pulled pork sandwich at 1,000 paces. Of course he does. Of course he does. And then, of course, Dior. Dior. Dior was so happy with our Duchess for wearing one of their creations. Oh, how elegant. Très chic. Très magnifique. Lovely. They look they look like somebody called down the central casting. If you don't understand that term, central casting, that's where in the movie industry, when they need the perfect actor and actress to play a role, they will go to what they call central casting, and they have them send their best possible people to audition for the role. So, as they say, straight out of central casting, there is Harry and Meghan cast in the role of Duke and Duchess as though they're doing some movie with, I don't know, Jimmy Stewart and some whoever he played with. Yeah, like somebody just called up the hottest actors in town and said, "Come on down here." Perfect, ideal. And the Queen, thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed. This was the day when the Queen, and I do believe it was the Queen, wanted Meghan with her. She wanted Meghan with her because William comes out there and he's like telling his wife to shove off. And she didn't even move. And he had to wind his hand up like, I told you to get over. She wasn't happy about that because she was so used to standing close to the center of things. And you can see Harry's worried. Harry is worried because even though things are going so well, he knew what was coming next. It happened to his mother, it happened to Meghan. Too perfect. Too perfect. So, I can't help but think that everybody's looking up at the future, but there's one person who's looking down, and that's Kate. Um, back then, it didn't really make sense, but seeing that we don't know where she is, now I think we get it. Everybody's looking up at the future, and poor Kate, who we haven't seen since Christmas, is nowhere to be found. Kate, who couldn't go to Singapore. Kate, who couldn't go to New York. Christian Dior Couture. Communicate Day, the press communication, press release. Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex wore Dior Haute Couture by Maria Grazia Chiuri to Royal Air Force 100th birthday. Dior is pleased to announce that Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex wore a Dior Couture black silk and wool dress, a Dior black leather clutch, and a Dior shoes to the Air Force's 100th birthday. Huh, perfect. Picture perfect. But remember, being a duchess is just the most difficult thing in the world. And how Kate has managed all this time, and remember, manage is the operative word, not excelled, just managed. Prince William found it very difficult to play second favorite to popular Prince Harry. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And of course, there's that famous photo on the bottom right side. Y'all remember that one, where William seemed to be infatuated with his sister in law. Yeah, he seems to be infatuated with his sister in law. Let me see if I can help y'all out. There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm pretty sure that Kitty felt very small in that moment. But again, Harry is home. This is his home. We're his family now over here. Um, that's just a little random art I wanted to share with you to cleanse my palate. So, Prince Harry presents prestigious Soldier of the Year award to Invictus Game friend. This is what the one of the Arms Force publications, Forces Net. This is all for the military. See there? Home, news, Navy, Army, Royal Air Force, Ukraine, tech, rugby, sport. They're not talking about whether Harry should or should not wear his medal. They're talking about an award to a very worthy injured soldier, a war medic. Prince Harry presented a prestigious U.S. military award to a friend he met through Invictus Games. In a recorded message for Military Times Service Member of the Year award, the Duke of Sussex praised the beacon of inspiration, Sergeant First Class Elizabeth Marks. They're not talking about that stupid stuff. This is a soldier. Let's see. Marks suffered bilateral hip injury while serving in Iraq in 2010, and her left leg was amputated below the knee. Prince Harry was wearing a military medals in his speech and described how he connected with a special, whatever, first class Marks because of the Invictus Games. He said, I first met Sergeant First Class Elizabeth Marks at the Invictus Games in Orlando in 2016, where I presented her with not one, but 4 gold medals. Now, you see right here, I guess they're trying to, kind of be a little snarky. He wore his medals when he presented her at this function. Angelina Stanley, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Who's in the running for jam? Megan's top 5 jams. This is the other thing. This oh, let me see here. YM Droid says, "Do you have to release where Dior announced their entry into the antique? What is that? Oh, old horse fashion. No, I don't have that one. I don't have that. I don't have any equestrian news. I don't have any equestrian news today, but thank you for the super chat. uh, but yeah, so Heather Dorick, let's see, Kelly McGee Zafin, Doria, Serena, Oprah, and of course, definitely out is Scamantha, Kaiten Wills, Jessica Moroney, and Victoria Beckham. Well, I tell you, as far as Victoria and Jessica is concerned, what I don't know that they were ever. Well, I know she was close to Jessica, but Victoria, I don't know that she was ever that close to her. And Jessica Mulrooney, well, we all know what happened with that, and that had nothing to do with Megan. Um, I feel like the poor girl was set up, and I think it was done deliberately. And so that's her problem to sort out. And if I was in Jessica's position and I found myself in a spot of bother, I would take a big step back from other people in the public eye. It's not just Megan. There's a lot of people that she has taken a big step back from. She's taken somewhat of a step back from the social media, but I do believe that it was kind of a setup. So I if they are still in contact or whatever, CK is kind of a long story. Oh wait, where are you? But during the George Floyd, there was someone who fancied herself getting involved in lifestyle brand thing. And of course, in Canada, one of the biggest people doing lifestyle content was Jessica Mulrooney, right? She had a whole like thing that she did on the Instagram and such. Well, this person challenged her to speak out about George Floyd. And Jessica Mulrooney said, I do plenty outreach. I speak up for plenty causes. You don't tell me when and what and where and how to say things. And it seemed to her as she would, if she felt as though she was being threatened with being exposed for not doing what this person instructed her to do. And this person happened to be of African descent and a single mother, starting over, single mother starting, whatever her story was. And so, Jessica Maroney pushed back. She said, well, if you make trouble for me, in so many words, I'm going to make trouble for you, right? You're going to be the one that's sorry. So she took it as a threat. And how could you threaten me, this single black mother who's trying to make it? And so it was, and that's the best I can explain it. But it was a big push back and forth. Lorna, I promise you, I don't know nothing about Jessica Maroney. I'm just explaining the story as best I can. If there was something that happened before, I don't know anything about it. I'm just saying what happened that caused her to um, step back from social media. So I appreciate the input, but I have no idea. I don't know anything about Jessica Maroney. The first time I saw her was at the wedding. I saw the twins and the daughter. That's it. I don't know any of that other stuff. And it's the same as with a lot of the people that people say, oh, why is Megan talking to this person? I don't know anything about the Kardashians. I never followed them. I never followed them. So I hear that the Kardashians have their problems. I hear that this person has something wrong and that they've done this in the past. I don't know. But what caused her problems that I know of is what I'm speaking of. So if you know further, please go ahead and put in the input. But I'd rather stick to why she and Megan seem to have distanced themselves publicly. Is that fair? Publicly. The other stuff, I'll leave that to everyone else because I don't know. I don't know. So I'm not going to say, oh, well, she was wrong for other stuff. I don't know anything else. I don't know anything else. And I'm satisfied to just leave it at that. Uh, Let me see here. Let's see. I don't think that Jessica is on the right side of the list. I also don't think that's what. Let me see. I think that is. We will know about. Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know. We'll never know. Um, if somebody is Connie Balmer, hey Connie Balmer, if somebody is your friend and they have had a fall from grace for whatever reason, whether or not you stay in contact with that person is a private matter. Okay? But for the purposes of this conversation, someone asked, I'm explaining it the best way I know, which is what I said from the beginning. I'm explaining it the best I know. There was a pushing situation. This one felt pushed and threatened. The other one felt pushed and threatened. Is that fair? I didn't say anybody was wrong or right, but that is what they felt about each other. And so the other person, I forget her name, Alexandria, whatever her name is, she went public and Jessica went away. Okay? She went public, Jessica went away. And since then, we don't know of anything else with Jessica and Megan. Is that fair? Tash Max says, yeah, thank you, Tash Mac. Okay. Okay. I'm just looking to see if anybody has anything else to contribute to that because I can only explain it as best I can. It seemed like a setup to me. It seemed like a setup to me. Um, and I'm just going to say, as a content creator, I have people that come into my spaces, into my comments, that try to provoke me both privately and publicly. They try to say things to get me angry, to try to paint me in a certain light that I don't think is fair or accurate. And I feel as though there's been times that people have tried to set me up. I feel as though people have tried to set me up. And so the best thing I could do is either block them or just ignore them. Mm. Best friend that stated, that started in 2010, Joe Fresh. Heard Jessica was jealous, and that's why she was after Sasha. Okay. Well, the way I heard it, Sasha went in her inbox and told her to speak out about George Floyd. Right? That's the story that I heard. As I said, as best I could explain it. So all that other stuff, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to leave that where it is. It's none of my business. I will let Megan and Sasha and Jessica, I'll let them worry about that. But when Megan and Harry was dating and she needed some place to be alone and secluded, she needed to be away from the prying eyes of the press. She had a friend. Okay? She had a friend. Okay, so moving on. Burden on torn Prince William. Let me see. Burden on torn Prince William relieved as King Charles cleared to return to duty. So the burden on Prince William is relieved because King Charles is cleared to return to duty. King Charles has been cleared by his medical team to return to public duties, Buckingham Palace has announced, relieving the burden on Prince William. Experts claim he feels torn between his royal duties and family. His royal duties and family. Um, Number one, he don't like to work anyway. Okay? William is not interested in working. William wants to be king. He doesn't want to do the work. William has just said that he wants to model his work like Harry's, where he will make the occasional public appearance, and that's it, and that's all. So I know, TMCD, what burden? Exactly what burden? Okay. Prince William is likely being cautious about sharing what is going on in his personal life. You think? You think? Prince William is being cautious about what's going on in his personal life. Exactly what would that be? Exactly what would that be going on in his personal life? Huh? Does it involve a press secretary with those doe-like eyes and the pouty mouth and the soft shadow beard? Would that be what he's torn about? Would that be the reason that he's cautious? Huh? I mean, have you seen his uh, press secretary? Again, it's as though somebody sent off to central casting. It is though someone sent off to central casting. So if that's what he's being cautious about, maybe he should. I tell you, it will make for an interesting reign. Now, in regards to Harry wearing his medals, if y'all think that people should ever give Harry a side eye for wearing those medals, which of course we don't, we think they should just leave him alone. I wonder how come they were not so morally outraged when Kitty wore those Lululemon stretch pants. She wore those Lululemon leggings for military exercise. I mean, she was the only person that I've ever seen in the history of the military that has shown up. And of course, this is not a time of war. But she's the only person I've ever seen stop at Lululemon's on the way to do maneuvers with her regiment or whatever. The only person I've ever seen do that. I mean, she literally stopped by Lululemon's, picked up some leggings, and then was like, "Okay, I'm ready." And I just want to remind y'all that when this happened, William was in Singapore. So 40 something year old uh, Kate Middleton thought that she was going to stop the presses because she decided to wear some Lululemons. She wore some leggings for a military drill. I thought this was very disrespectful. But remember, Harry should not wear his medals to present a military award, but Kate is perfectly fine wearing some leggings to do some military exercises. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Because I don't think that the Queen would approve. Of course, Queen Elizabeth is dead, but I don't think Queen Elizabeth would have approved. But it seems to me that since the Queen died, everybody seems to do what the F they want to do. And Kate shows up wearing some Lululemon uh, leggings to do military maneuvers. I mean, I'm not an authority on all things military, but I do believe that that was woefully inappropriate. I do. I do believe that that was inappropriate. And I don't believe that if Queen Elizabeth was still alive, that she would have approved of Kate wearing some leggings to a military exercise. I just don't believe that the Queen would be okay with that. Yeah, I think that is very inappropriate. And if you recall the way she was prancing past those soldiers, right? She was prancing past those soldiers wearing those Lululemons. I just thought that was very disrespectful. I'm sorry, but I thought that was very disrespectful. Now, I'm not a prude. I'm not a prude, but I know when things are in bad taste. Now, of course, it's only fair that we reach out to Kensington Palace for comment. It's only fair.
Well, obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, on to this day, and going forward and things. It is. It's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
Go get him, Kitty. Go get him. Ah, I told you guys, I just felt like dragging today. When I saw them messing with Prince Harry, I just felt like dragging. So if you're wondering how we got here, that's how. They started it. They started messing with Harry, and that just kind of set me off. So I do apologize if anybody is if anyone is offended by this, but yeah, I'm what do you call it? I'm a bit perturbed, whatever that means.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And then, of course, if you look here, it was a little bit too cold that day, so I don't think she's wearing leggings because of snowing. This time she decided to show a bit of decorum rather than showing, her Lululemons. And of course, if we have learned anything from Mike Dukakis when he was running for president, that's Olympia Dukakis's cousin, the actress Olympia Dukakis. If we learned anything from former governor Mike Dukakis, at a certain point, it looks ridiculous to put a helmet on. As a matter of fact, if you Rishi Sunak and you bought big as Sammy Davis Jr., it's probably a bad idea to wear a helmet. That's who he reminded me of. Sammy Davis Jr. was really small. He had them little skinny legs and that little boy body. He had like a little person's body, right? Like a little boy. Like he was 12 years old and just stopped growing. That's what Rishi Sunak reminds me of as Sammy Davis Jr. He doesn't look like him, but he's got that same body type. And and then that photo in the middle, that is a parody of Star Wars. It's called Spaceballs or Meatballs or Spaceballs, something like that. It's a comedy, a movie, a parody of Star Wars. And as you can see, he's wearing that Darth Vader helmet, but of course, it looks like it's about to swallow him. You mean to tell me you don't speak mumbles? uh, Hi, Claudette McKenzie. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I almost forgot to share this festive image from last year. Spot the difference? Well, let me see. On one hand, you have a Christmas tree, and on the other hand, you have some type of tree covered with decorations. Let me see. I just don't know which is which. Connie Bomber! Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. Prince Edward showing off his medals. He dropped out of the Marines after 4 months and never saw active service. Total non-entity. Award 3 class. Thanks, Mom. Okay. So as you can see, he's wearing some of those medals like Harry. All of those he have are from Jubilees. He's gone to one more Jubilee than Harry. Yeah, I think he's been to just one more Jubilee compared to Harry. So at this point, he had gone to 4. No, you know what? He's probably got 5 of them now. But at this point, he had gone to 4 of them. Harry has been to 3. So, yeah, spot the difference. And then, of course, there he is wearing his bespoke couture maxi coat. And I'm telling you, one of these days, he is going to trip right over the bottom of that coat. I've never seen anybody in all of the British military wear a coat like that, ever. See how it accentuates his hips? See how he's giving us that little flirtatious thigh? He's wearing some stirrup pants. I'm telling you, he has completed the look. What an ensemble. Why he's not walking the runway in Paris, I'll never know. You work it, girl. Supermodel, you. And then just the other day, how embarrassing. Failed Marine Prince Edward set to head elite regiment that fought at Waterloo as colonel of the Scouts Guard. Now, at least he did try. At least he did try. Did they really have to out him like that? Did they really have to out him like that? Failed Marine, failed Marine. That's terrible. And you know, he probably showed up about as much as William did at certain points because William, a lot of times, he would just take off. Although I give him credit for this much, William did learn to fly a helicopter, and that is not easy. That is definitely hard. It's not an Apache like Harry. Harry can fly the most technically advanced warbird ever created, the Apache helicopter. But aside from that, William did okay. YM Droid says that coat was Kate's inspired for the sassy red outfit. Oh, you mean that that one where she stepped out looking like one of the Rockettes? Let me see if I have that one. Give me a second. Do I have that one? I made a video about that, I think.
Understand that you have strong opinions about Kate Middleton's fashion
Yeah,
choices
there
and
we go.
behavior. However,
There you go. I knew I had made a video. Check it out. Check it out. 18 times Queen Elizabeth looked pretty annoyed with Kate Middleton. I mean, look at that. Meghan would have never, ever disrespected the Queen like that. And that was disrespectful. The Queen was very upset. Oh, there she goes with them Lululemons. There she goes.
appropriate to make assumptions. As a patron of a military group, it is essential for Kate Middleton to demonstrate appropriate attire and behavior, particularly when interacting with members of the military.
There she goes.
While I don't have
Look
specific
at how the
details
soldiers.
about the occasion you mentioned,
Look at how the soldiers
it's
are cutting their
reasonable to
eyes at her.
expect that she should adhere to the dress code set by the military or the organization.
Hey,
she
look at him
represents.
smiling. You see that?
As a member of the
Wait,
royal
wait, wait,
family
wait. Did you see
mentioned,
that? Look.
it's reasonable to expect that she should adhere to the dress code set by the military or the organization she represents. As a member of the
Hubba,
royal
hubba.
family, Kate Middleton
Calm
represents the
down. Get a
monarchy
room.
and engages in various duties and responsibilities. While she may have her own personal
Yeah. Calm down. Get a room. Look at him.
or athletic spandex pants inappropriately, it would be best for those responsible for her wardrobe to ensure that she is dressed appropriately for each occasion. However, it's also worth considering that fashion choices can sometimes be subjective, and what one person may find inappropriate, others may perceive differently. Regardless, it is crucial for public figures, especially those associated with the royal family, to maintain decorum and respect when attending official events, as their actions and attire can influence public perception. It is worth considering that public figures, including members of the royal family, are often under scrutiny, and their actions are subject to interpretation. It's essential to approach these matters with an open mind and respect for different perspectives. Tacky and tasteless are terms used to describe something that lacks elegance, style, or good taste. When something is considered tacky, it means that it is considered cheap or gaudy and does not display refinement or sophistication. Tasteless, on the other hand, refers to something that is offensive, crude, or lacking in aesthetic appeal. Both terms are subjective and can vary depending on personal preferences and cultural norms. What one person may find tacky or tasteless, another person may find appealing. It's important to remember that these terms are often used to express personal opinions rather than objective judgments.
Well, I don't think the Queen was pleased. I think the Queen was very upset and she probably felt disrespected. It seemed like somebody should have stopped her. Wow, I love receipts, don't you? Now, even though Harry was the star of that family during his time as a working royal, he didn't get a house. You see there? Look at that house that uh, Ford Fiesta and Edwina. Look at their house. Nobody's going to take that away from them. Nobody's going to take that away from them. The Queen got that for him. He didn't even finish his time in the military, and he gets a house like that. Yeah. Kind of makes you wonder why Ford Fiesta was looking so angry. I mean, look at how much you have gotten for doing little or nothing. All you had to do was show up. William is in Singapore, Sophie is in Canada, and the king and the queen have just attended the state opening of Parliament. Meanwhile, Harry is playing dress up at home. He was never a smart one, but at this point, it's impossible for him to question his life. I'm sorry, at this point, it's possible for him to question his life choices. I don't think he's questioning his life choices. Now, let me dissect this. William is in Singapore without Kate. Sophie is in Canada and nobody noticed. The king and queen have just attended the state opening of Parliament and nobody watched. Meanwhile, Harry is the one playing dress up. Harry is the one that's playing dress up. Now, speaking of dress up, you guys, while William was in Singapore, guess what Kate was doing? Guess what Kate was doing while William was in Singapore? Do you all remember? I'll show you right here.
Regardless of the status of the Queen, it is not appropriate to make assumptions.
This is what Kate was doing while William was in Singapore. Now, let's get to that part about questioning life choices again, shall we? Do we really want to question life choices at this point? William is in Singapore without his wife. Kate is at home trying to get attention, wearing some Lululemon, what do you call it? Leggings. And Charles and Camilla, they were, oh, who cares where they were? And Ford Fiesta was in Canada and nobody knew it. I know Harry made the right choice. Harry made the right choice. Harry left and went to America. And the rest of them, well, needless to say, the rest of them are
bitter. And somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
And somebody needs to say it. Harry's uniform humiliation. Remember this? There was no way in the world anybody would have noticed a cipher, but they decided that was leaked by somebody at Kensington Palace, I'm sure. They decided to leak the cipher to try to and humiliate Harry. Once again, they have failed. They have failed because let me tell you, first of all, the camera was on Harry most of the time. Second of all, William was on the side that was facing away from the crowd. You see all those people back there? They're looking at Harry. That's William on this side. See that blue sash? That's William. Everybody's on the other side of the room. William is facing out the door. Duh, duh. William is facing the other direction, right? Because that was supposed to be the most important position on that occasion. But most of the time, the camera was on Prince Harry. Harry was the only person that mattered, not William. Oh, Harry was the only thing that mattered that day. Harry comes strutting across that floor looking like, I'm telling you, looking like some type of it reminded me of Yul Brynner in that movie Westworld. If you ever seen that movie and you saw Yul Brynner do that walk, you know what I'm talking about. It was like nothing else mattered. Not a thing. Prince Harry in military uniform as Queen's grandchildren hold vigil for Her Majesty. Now, they didn't report about the rest of them. It says the Duke of Sussex and Prince of Wales were among Queen Elizabeth's 8 grandchildren. Who do you see in the picture? Do you see the Prince of Wales? William? When they wrote this article, they only shared Harry. They didn't show William. They even got the back of Viscount Severin, but no William because the cameras were on this side. There was just like a couple of cameras on the other side. Nobody was interested in William. They were there for Harry. And when they wrote the article, they didn't even include the new Prince of Wales. They only focused on the Duke of Sussex. See, it's just like they really shoot themselves in the foot. Every time they try to come for Harry, they always fall on their faces. Speaking of somebody that fell on their face, do you like that segue? Speaking of someone who fell on their face, feminism has left middle aged women like me single, childless, and depressed. We were taught to prioritize our careers over marriage, and now we are paying for it. What do you mean, we? Who is we? Petronella Wyatt. Who are we? She is trying to rally people. She's trying to smoke out anybody who is as sad and as miserable as she is. If you're not familiar with Petronella Wyatt, she is one of the most pathetic, miserable, hateful Karens that you'll ever run into. Feminism has left middle aged women like me single, childless, and depressed. We were taught. Who is we? There's no we. You. You. Like I said, speaking of somebody who has fallen on their face, that is Petronella Wyatt, somebody who is notoriously uh, a Meghan hater. And that is what used to be her boyfriend, the former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. You know, I don't want to be mean, but I think certain people should never procreate. Certain people should not be allowed to contribute to the gene pool. And those are two people right there who should never, should never be allowed to contribute to the gene pool. Hello. Hello. Thank you, Lydia Washington. Thank you very much. That's why I keep saying we. Who is we? Just because you made poor choices, just because you made poor choices, why are you trying to drag other people into your chaos? Petronella. Petronella. That sounds like That sounds like something you put into your gas tank, doesn't it? It's like I can go down to the local Shell station and say, "Yeah, let me have 10 gallons of Petronella. My engine is starting to knock. Could I have 10 gallons of that Petronella? I'll have the Petronella blend. Thank you." Omid Scobie, methinks it's not just women Petronella Wyatt has an issue with. Even Omid Scobie, sweet, innocent, polite, thoughtful Omid Scobie, had to tick her box one day. Methinks it's not just women Petronella Wyatt has an issue with. Ah, let me take you down memory lane. I don't understand this constant need to use op-eds about the Duchess of Cambridge 40 to sling mud at women that have nothing to do with her or her birthday. The language in this vile Sun article is sexist, hateful, and creepy. Now, what he's referring to is an article that Petronella wrote. She says, Meghan must hate how popular Kate Middleton has become as she turns 40. In some ways, this takes the two women and for Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think I have the whole thing. Did it cut off? Yeah, it cut off. But anyway, Duchess puts her husband first, and it's significant, is it? That the first question she asked after their exchange of marriage vows was, "Are you something?" in a genuine hope that he was. What? Anyway, as I said, speaking of somebody who has tripped and fell on their face, Petronella, she's so hateful, so jealous. Here's a few of her tweets. Harry should get a divorce and marry some hardy home county gal, which he should have done in the first place. Meghan's got everything she asked for. Wait a minute, the moment, okay, typo there. The moment she arrived in this country, now her U.S. celeb friends will say English races have driven her away. They forgot that they are the real races. We don't have a Ku Klux Klan over here, nor did we have segregation and lynching. All of that is a lie, of course. There has been lynchings of black people. Segregation, maybe not on the same scale, but there has been that. And as for Ku Klux Klan, that is, I think that there's been other ways that they have gone after people. Okay, and then over here, let me see. BBC Question Time was being racist, calling Fox a privileged white male. It's Meghan's character we don't like, not her color. A lot of people I have spoken to didn't know until last week that she was colored. Colored? Are we still using the term colored? You see what I'm saying? What an awful, awful person Petronella Wyatt is. So when Petronella asked the question or tried to get people to co-sign with her miserable, lonely situation, now you can understand better why she's middle-aged, childless, and depressed. Now we understand. Why would she even ask the question? Given her character, is there any wonder that she's left middle-aged, childless, and depressed? If you've never heard of Petronella Wyatt before, just remember, next time you see somebody trip and fall on their face, just think Petronella. See, when you hear somebody stumble over a chair or fall down a flight of stairs, just think Petronella. If you hear a car screeching and then suddenly there's an impact, think Petronella. Got it? Injury to the frontal lobe, Petronella. That's all you got to do. I think that should be an adjective instead of saying what do you call it? Bruises and contusions to the head and neck and such like that. Just say Petronella. Doctor, what do you think happened? Well, looks like we got a case of Petronella. It seems as though the victim was found severely Petronella. Thank you for that, Mamie Ricks. Thank you very much. I think you're right about that. As a matter of fact, I am going to look inside of the what do you call it? The medical journal and see if I can find anything like that. And I'm pretty sure that once I arrive at that term, I'm going to see Petronella. Projectile vomiting, Petronella. So remember, the reason why feminism has left middle-aged women like me single, childless, and depressed is because we were taught to prioritize our career over marriage, and now we are paying for it. Or we was shagging the prime minister. We even turned somebody as nice as Omid Scobie against us. We decided to celebrate Kate's birthday by dragging Meghan's name into it. Or we thought that Harry should divorce Meghan and marry, I don't know, Petronella. Or Megan's got everything she got coming. Or we think that what's his name? What is that guy's name? Fox. Yeah, we think that what's his name? Fox is a nice guy. Those might be reasons why you're single, childless, and what's that other thing? Oh yeah, Petronella. Yes, Workshop Willie. I think that it's nothing that a medicated ointment couldn't fix, right? Whenever you have something that just kind of breaks out some like weird rash or something like that, first you identify it. You say, "Ooh, Petronella," and then you get a medicated salve. Okay, right there. Petronella says, "Is Harry and Meghan's choice of Lilibet a subtle insult to or a mean jibe or mean little jibe?" Yeah, there you go. She was one of those people that was, I guess, going to war with an infant child over a name. So that's another one of her offenses. Oh, how about this one? Jeremy Clarkson's future on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire confirmed. Right there, Petronella. Clarkson has been punished enough. If ITV drops him, it will set a dangerous precedent Will Harry and Meghan able to with Harry and Meghan able to pick off at will journalists they don't like? Well, seeing that Jeremy Clarkson said that Meghan should be paraded from town to town and covered with excrement, I would say that was fair, wouldn't you, Petronella? Desiree Dotson, thank you so much for being here. Now, let's go on to something pleasant. Britain's ongoing obsession with Meghan's jam, despite the king's battle with cancer and the heir's wife and children having disappeared from view, newspapers are still filled with news about the Duchess of Sussex's jam. 10 days after they first wrote hysterically about Meghan's jam, Friday's UK press was full of stories like Buckingham Palace accused of shading Meghan Markle's jam, or a right royal jam. And lastly, Meghan's jam isn't about royal tension. It's about a certain kind of lifestyle war. You all, it seems like people got just too much time on their hands. Hello, Anastasia. Nathan Dixon, welcome. Meghan's jam. Now, you know, I cannot see that. Hold on a second. I don't know what I was thinking. I cannot see that. It seemed bigger when I started, but let me see here. That's better. Meghan's jam isn't about royal tension. It's about a certain kind of lifestyle. So that was was that the Independent? Anyway, to struggling Brits, jam is a sign of wealth. Even the Telegraph now calls out jam as a sign of wealth. And in impoverished countries, wealthy royal family recent advertise their own royal jam, openly flaunting their wealth in an attempt to show off they can compete with richer countries. And the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, in particular, while many of their people rely on food banks, which is really sad. With everything else that's going on, instead of focusing on, trying to raise money for housing or to try to put more resources into food banks, they're talking about jam. Let's see. Lisette Zog, thank you so much for being here. Thanks, Baron, for always supporting our faves. Keep jamming. I want to jam with you too. Jamming. Thank you very much. Most of the Western world, jam is cheap, readily available treat, but in Britain, where the population is struggling with the cost of living, exacerbated by Brexit, eating jam is a sign of wealth. While a third of British children live in poverty, their royal family hoards vast riches and lives in upteen palaces and estates. Their king recently spent £8 million sending portraits of himself to schools throughout the land, even as school buildings crumble. And while the Telegraph was careful to say it wasn't about royal tension, Buckingham Palace recently promoted the King's Jam, seemingly oblivious to the optics of pushing what the Telegraph described as a weaponized symbol of wealth, taste, and domestic bliss. Ha! Well, I was going to say that too, but they beat me to it. Especially the part about domestic bliss. King and his consort ride in gold carriage to coronation while the people protest. Abigail Spencer, an American actor and friend of the Duchess of Sussex, holds a bowl of jam and fruit. Yes, she is. And don't forget, rolling around on the freshly manicured lawn and playing with one of the several canine companions of the Sussexes. Yes, she's doing all of that and looking absolutely amazing. Do you see how silky her hair looks? Yeah, so uh, let the people in Montecito worry about what they do with their money at their homes. And then, of course, the person who is supposed to serve the greater good of the public, like Charles the third, King Charles the third, let him keep flaunting his wealth while not solving housing and food deprivation. Okay, let's move on. I think that was shady enough. And of course, you guys notice the contrast. There's Harry, the one that they were saying last year. Harry and Meghan aren't together. Harry is staying at a hotel. Meghan is living as a single mom and all that kind of stuff. Projection. They were actually talking about the Cambridges. They were talking about Will and Kate. You know, William went to Singapore alone. William went to New York alone. And while William was doing all of that, there was Kate wearing her Lululemon leggings to a military drill. Okay. But remember, the Sussexes are the ones that have a problem. Harry is the one whose wife is running around wearing Lululemons and having all of these soldiers looking at her backside. Not Kate. Meghan is the one jumping out of Bentleys with all her legs showing. Not Kate. It just looks like Kate. That's actually Meghan, y'all. See there? That's Meghan. That's not Kate. And that's Harry. See the person with that sourpuss? See that very what do you call that? That glum looking face? That's Harry. That's not Will and Kate. I'm projecting. That's how you project. You take something that's obviously not what I said it was and just pretend like it is. And that's what they call projection. So that's actually Kate and William sitting at that banquet table while Harry and Meghan are so, what do you call it? So distant from each other, yet so close. That's Harry picking at the trim of the car, pretending like he was someplace else, wishing he was someplace else. That's called projection. You know what? I'm just mean today. I mean, you know what? I'm so mean. Let me hurry up and wrap this up. These people got on my nerves. You know that, don't you? Megan's Jam isn't about okay, we did that already. These people done got on my nerves. Let me remind you, thank you so much, Maggie. Let me remind you the original Duke of Sussex. The original earldom of Sussex passed through the something something the something, and later Radcliffe, Seville, Leonard something family until it became extinct in 1799. The dukedom was created in 1801 for Augustus, the sixth son of George III, and became extinct on his death without legitimate heirs. The earldom was revived for Prince Arthur, Duke of Connaught, who you see below here, but became extinct in 1943. The dukedom of Sussex was bestowed on Prince Henry, younger son of the Prince of Wales, on his marriage in 2018. So that is where the Duke of Sussex comes from. Now, in terms of the Duchess of Sussex, there has never been a Duchess of Sussex. Meghan is the very first ever Duchess of Sussex. Now, the last Duke of Sussex, well, let me see, not yeah, not the last one, the one before that, I think. The one that you see in the picture. He was married before, the one on the left side, but he did not seek approval or did not get approval for his marriage. Therefore, it was considered to be an illegitimate union, and therefore the children could not inherit the title. And they paid off one of his wives. They annulled one of the weddings, and the other one they paid her off and sent her up to Scotland. And he was so angry at his family that he told them, "Do not bury me with the rest of those royal riffraffs." So he's actually buried at one of the world's first non religious cemeteries, right? That one in the UK. That was like one of the world's first, public cemeteries. Because, they used to bury people in the churchyard or in those country estates or whatever. But this was a very formal creation, that cemetery, and that is where he's buried. Yes, Meghan is the very first ever Duchess of Sussex. Our last word for today will come from Prince Harry. Harry was asked by Stephen Colbert, what was the most important thing to you, the five most important things. And he said freedom, happiness, clarity, space, and love. So we know what space is. That's the space away from that cruel, mean family that he left behind. And also, we're going to close out with some of those AI images of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I believe here they are recreating the image from Dune. Let me see. Petronella made her choices: career over family, although she could have had both. No good whining and blaming feminism for her own misjudgment. Feminists won daycare for her to use. I love that, Jose. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. How about this one? Prince Harry as Spider Man? Huh? Prince Harry as Spider Man? And rom com. I don't know what that other thing is there on the left side. Um, that one, it didn't come out so well. Why does everything Harry and Meghan say sound like a low rent greeting card? James O'Brien says, why does everything Quentin Letts write sound like your drunk uncle shouting at the telly? Thank you, James O'Brien. Boy, I tell you, sometimes James O'Brien, he can be delightfully sarcastic. I love it. Um, don't forget, Harry did go see his father for 45 minutes. And then he put on his trainers. He put on some athletic pants and he put on a t-shirt and ran for the airport. Harry stayed there for 45 minutes. And just like Sweet Brown, Harry said,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And ran straight to the airport. Seriously, Harry went and spent 45 minutes, and then he put on a good pair of athletic shoes, turned that hat backwards, and yelled,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And ran straight to the airport. uh, so, yeah. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I still do have I think I just got like 2 or 3 slides left. Does this look familiar? Does this look familiar? We are grateful to Prince William for his unwavering support. We have been honored with a heartfelt letter from Kensington Palace. His Royal Highness Prince William has extended his warmest thanks and best wishes to the Intrepid Games. Look like somebody's trying to steal the thunder away from the Invictus Games. Good luck. Let me know how that work out. Prince and Princess of Wales won't publicly mark their wedding anniversary on Monday. It has been reported. Well, it's going to be their 13th anniversary. We haven't seen Kate since Christmas. So, and considering all of the things that they said about Kate, I wonder if they're going to have a anniversary next year. And lastly, I promise you, this is the very last. This is cute, isn't it? This is a cute idea if you're not into eating sandwiches like bacon, cheese, and jam on a crostini. The last one is just jam, cheese, and rosemary. Ha! So if you're trying to figure out what else you can do with your jam, jam that. Yeah, give that a jam. Doesn't that look good? If you wasn't hungry, I bet you're hungry now. All right, and we're done, you guys. Thank you. Love you guys. See you next time. We had our last word of the day already. And of course, let me find our queens. Thank you, as always, Mod Squad, for keeping this a safe space. And of course, all the best to you all. When you see our queens, it's time to go. You know what I mean. And with that, you all, thank you, Connie Bomber. Phew. Okay, now I'm dizzy. Was anybody timing that? I can't do it again for about another 2 hours. I'll do it next time. Okay. Okay, again, good night. Love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow.
Bitter. And somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.